Mobile 7.
It's not available to the
7.
developers. It's not available to the developers.
English. Come again, sorry.
I said that it's not available in the developers as open source project, the CVI.
So they closed the SDK, but I do have it downloaded in my PC, so I can upload it again and make a fork of
The
it.
official.
And nobody can tell me anything, because it was open source back then when I downloaded it. So, open source is lovely just because of that. But in general, you're right. That's why I told you in the beginning that I wanted an opinion on whether to buy an HTC or Samsung, based that Android will be the next operating system that I would like for my phone to have. Personal opinion again, don't mark my words. Okay, open source society, this is very important. Open source finally was embraced by government sector, ethics and media. In media we have the open source journalism. And do you know what this is? This is crazy people with cameras recording and photoshooting everything. Small parenthesis, lately I was in the TEDx Thessaloniki event and there was a guy from either the States or UK, I'm not sure, that he's a journalist, as a profession he's a journalist, and he managed to solve, let's say in quotes, a crime using the social media. This is the open source journalism, we say. It's services that are made available to the people to use for free. Also we have open source business. This is very important for those of you that said that they're going to be programmers or software developers when they leave this institution. Many people say that open source does not have money, or it cannot make money, therefore is a joke, or just a utopia. I would disagree, and also this chart would disagree with me. It says here that Red Hat in 1999 raised $84 million with its IPO. JBoss in 2006 was acquired by Red Hat for $420 million. MySQL was acquired by Sun for $1 billion. It would be interesting to search how many dollars the Oracle Corporation gave to acquire both Sun, MySQL, Java, and all this stuff. And last but not least, in 2009, only 2 years before, SpringSource was purchased by VMware for $430 million. So if you play your cards right, you can actually benefit from the open source code. What we had after the open source phenomenon occurred was that the World Wide Web became a pool of reusable code. And we are talking for about billions of lines of code. I'm not sure that I can somehow pass to you the importance of those lines of code for both an academic and a professional. Both people gain from that. Okay, so what is a reuser? From coders we passed to reusers. What are reusers? Reusers are people that were coders and acted smart, if I might say. But to be a user, you need first to have become an experienced coder. Because with the open source, just not for mentioning only the good stuff, only the advantages, you have lots of lines of code that is in reality crap. It is rubbish. It's code that was written and then left alone to be on the web. Nobody deals with it anymore, fixing bugs or stuff. So there are parts, components of source code that are not really good out there, and it takes a good coder to be able to choose which reusable code is going to use in his own work. This is also a field for research. I mean, it is part of my research to sort of filter the code that I find to be available for free on the web. So, who can be a user? The truth is that anyone, any developer can be a user, and the thing between the dashes, if a systematic reuse process is absent, refers to a company. This means that if you are a developer for a corporation that has some developers doing stuff, any developer can act as a reuser. On the other hand, if you are in a company like Sun, before Oracle acquires it, you should serve as an actual engineer, code engineer, that would have as a task to find code and adapt it in a way that could be useful and reused. You see, when you start talking about the research stuff, people get bored. Okay, now, when we want to reuse code, and let's take a scenario, I am a professional and I want to create a system for a customer. I get a document with the requirements, and let's say we have 10 requirements. These requirements are not going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It will be the system that will have 3 main subsystems. Let's say a login, a database handler, and a component that will output the results, for the sake of the argument. Maybe some of these have other subsystems to be created. A good reuser, what he does is decompose the system on the root in some levels of subsystems. And here is a research question for those of you that you want to serve the academia. How far should one go? And this is an open issue, I'm not going to answer that. But it is an open issue for research. Should I go in the level of classes, in the level of methods, in the level of components? In which level should I decompose the system in order for me, the reuser, to be able to be implemented with me, the user, having to do the least of work, that is, implement the least code possible. Okay, bear with me, there are a couple of slides. This was actually the core of the paper that we published in the INAIS conference back in 2010 with the 2 colleagues I mentioned before. And okay, I don't know, does this seem complex or interesting to you? Honestly, I won't be offended. I think the camera looks at me, so the hands won't be seen. Who thinks this is a joke? Okay, who thinks this is a little interesting, but okay, just another workflow? Okay, brave one. Which one thinks that this is the best